Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. This is John Zortzis.
Hi, John. It's Victor.
Hi, Victor.
So, let's get started. How is it going for you with all that Virgo energy?
It's going all right. Drinking my coffee.
At the moment, it's not a big factor, isn't it? Because nothing is attacking you, but yeah, so how can I help you, basically?
All right. Well, I've had some readings before, and
Finances, work.
finances and work is basically my main concern. My vocationally and money and work. That's basically what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything for romance or anything like that. I'm just looking for work, finance, and vocation.
Okay.
Direction in life.
So tell me what you do at the moment.
Right now, I drive an Uber. I'm an Uber driver. I've been doing Uber for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And I just drive people back and forth. It's not that challenging. It's pretty easy. I have no boss. I have a lot of flexibility. I can make my own hours. And I also manage apartment buildings for my mom. My mom has apartment buildings in a suburb of Chicago. And we got the buildings in 1990. So I've been doing it for about 30 years. Because my dad passed away when I was 18. He got electrocuted under a dishwasher trying to fix it in the restaurant.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so he died when I was 18 years old. And my mom sold the restaurant, and then she took the money from the restaurant and the life insurance that she got, and she bought apartment buildings. And I've been managing them ever since. But that's not that many hours in the month to do. So I've been doing that throughout my other career. I've also been in sales. I used to do door-to-door sales. I used to knock on 100 doors a day, selling alarm systems for a dealership with ADT, which is a security company in the States.
Okay.
So I used to go in to do presentations in people's homes. For 3 years, I did that. And I loved that job. That was a great job. I was very skillful at it. I was very good at it. I made good money at it. And I wouldn't mind going back to a job like that again in sales.
I think actually sales it's not something, it's something which I think you can excel at. I mean, you've got a Gemini midheaven, which is actually typically an agent. So Gemini is all about wanting to connect with people. Therefore, a Gemini midheaven, a Virgo rising sign in many cases is like a writer, because that's one of the ways how they can connect with others. Or they like doing some type of work like journalism, because again, they can be, they can again connect with other people to a certain extent. So I think agents, any type of agent, sales is already something we can take into account. I kind of understand this, the Uber driving as well, but I think in the long run it might be something which you won't enjoy that much. We're talking about a very strong communication energy in your chart, so you're gonna have to use your communication skills if you want to be successful. And clearly, we're talking about here possibilities of course, you want to be making, to a certain extent, more money. But because you've got such a strong Virgo character, that is all about service to others. So we kind of need to be considering something where you are not just connecting with people, but you somehow providing them service as well. You've got great organizational skills, you've got great not necessarily a management type, I would say. Virgo doesn't necessarily like being such a manager, but basically anything to do with, because Virgo is born to be kind of a craftsman and a specialist in something. The key word to your horoscope is to become a specialist. Virgo is like a natural harvester. They separate the wheat from the chaff.
Right.
And you know, it is all about balancing out the body, the mind, the spirit. So Virgo is so much to do with people's lifestyle, so making their lifestyle easier. Kind of Virgo always wants to make the world a better place. And the reason why we talk about so much about Virgo, because you've got 7 and 8 energies in the sign of Virgo anyway. So, you know, and it is all about becoming systematic, having a system in place. So to be frank, somehow I would like you to be, or I would like to see you somehow in a service type of industry, which agency in a way covers. So I think that's something you definitely need to take into account. On taking it further, I would also say that you can be quite sympathetic. So this could be indicating something to do with people's well-being. So actually, I can imagine you joining a family and then you driving them around, for instance. Something which, again, helping others to create a harmonious life for themselves. Something, it gives you a sense of pleasure, or it would give you a sense of pleasure or satisfaction to kind of serve the outside world as well. So definitely I'm talking about some type of helping professions here. Maybe something to do with community service or community affairs, or where you are responsible for something, where you can protect, where something where basically you become helpful. These would be the keywords to the word. It could be language related. It could be language related. It could be even something to do with dietitian. Someone who is going to be giving advice to people how to eat, how to train. So even the personal trainer comes into the picture. You can become a great personal assistant, a right-hand man type of energy. Someone who is helping others to create their personal strength. You can even have a cleaning company if that's the case, because that's something very Virgo energy as well. So, you know, I'm opening a cleaning company, I hire a few girls, and then let's rule the business. So you need something where there is cooperation going on, where you can use your own ideas, where you can collaborate with people, materials. You can be great at gathering data, analyzing those, something to do with like a PA type of energy. You can be a great assistant easily. Even if you want to take it higher, it could be something to do with a diplomat, a renting and the booking agent. So even I can imagine something to do with, how is it called? Property management, that you are managing different type of properties. Something which includes a little bit of a phone, a telephone. Even it could be that you're running a post office, or directing a museum, or something, again, which is very much about people's interests. Anything which is assisting in any type of field. These are most probably the keywords to some of the career. Now, does that bring anything to your mind at all?
Yeah, it does. I actually do property management right now with my mom's properties.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that.
And we can take it even further.
Pardon?
We can even take it further.
Yeah, I can go to work for another management company and work for them too. Doing that.
Because Virgo likes being busy. So I think you need especially if you kind of say that you don't want any romance and relationship, then work can be, because Virgo likes being useful. They are the signs who like working 50, 60 hours a week easily, because it makes them kind of happy. But definitely Virgo always kind of needs to learn how to harmonize things as well. So, you know, Virgo, by the way, it's a health sign. So you can even think about something where, I don't know, I'm going to do the shopping for elderly people. And I'm going to drive around, you know, I give them the whatever they want, you know, to buy. And then it can talk about some type of caring. It can talk about not necessarily an elderly home, but you can even be a partnership with an elderly home, like driving them around in a minibus, for instance.
Right.
So the driving is not necessarily a bad thing. I just feel like that you need to take it a little bit further, because we're talking about here, you know, like where you can use your communication skills, but at the same time ensuring that you are not overdoing things, right? So, and it is something which is very much related to scheduling. So you can do a job where you have got a proper schedule. I'm picking this person up at 11 o'clock at the airport. That also something which might be working out just on your favor.
Okay.
Do you have any writing skills, for instance? Do you think you have?
Yeah, I actually wrote a book.
Okay.
I wrote a poetry short fiction book. It's called Waterslide Time Machine Portals, and I published it on Amazon in 2018.
And how did it go?
It went well. However, I have to market it myself. I don't have a marketer or a publisher to get my book in the market. So I've just been using my Uber to introduce the book and selling it in my Uber. And I have my Amazon link, but I mean, I haven't sold that many copies. I've sold over 100 copies, but that's about it.
You know, at the beginning, why not? Maybe you want to be starting thinking about that you start looking for an agent, like a publisher. You can even think about, again, as I said, collaborating with others. So maybe you want to be collaborating with some type of, you know, like similar sites or websites or something like that who has got similar interests just like you. Right? So, you know, let's say if I'm interested in astrology, then I'm going to be approaching those people who have got astrological sites and pages, and then for a certain amount of percentage. If you sell me 10, I give you 20% or something like that. I think that's also a possibility. By the way, when I see some of your major luck factors, then I would say that that's either something to do with Venus or Pluto. But you've got this part of fortune, we call it. It's a lock point in the chart, and both of them are very close by to your lock point. Now, Venus is so much to do with publishing, actually, because it rules your 9th house. And it is also so much to do with your 2nd house, which is going to be money. So actually, the reason why I asked about the writing, because something to do with publishing or even becoming a screenwriter or writing some type of like shows. So it could indicate something to do with partnering up with some local schools or community, and I'm going to write a drama type of things, and then they can play it. And then eventually, I see some potentials of you being able to take it a little bit further. Yeah, I would also consider such thing.
Well, I've also been considering starting a YouTube station and I have hundreds, over 600 audio recordings that I've made since I got divorced August 2015. And August 2015, I got divorced.
What did you do with the YouTube channel?
And my YouTube channel, when I got divorced, I started going through a process of know thyself. I found out about my Myers-Briggs type. I'm an ENFP. I found out about my strength finders, all my talents and my strengths. I found out about MIDAS, Multiple Intelligence Development Assessment Scale. What are my natural talents? Like my highest intelligence is linguistical, which is with words, thinking with words.
Yeah.
And my next highest is interpersonal, talking with other people. And my next highest is spatial, having three-dimensional objects like driving and stuff like that.
Right, these are the talents kind of I emphasize as well.
Right, exactly.
Words, communication, something to do with mobility, yes.
So I have a lot of audio clips that I've made of these, of myself talking to myself and with the emphasis one day of creating a YouTube station to help other people find out how they can know themselves.
Very good. A personal analysis. Very good idea. Virgo is all about, control. So how not to control yourself to achieve things, or how to keep that control in balance. That's why a Virgo is such an analysis, because they gather the data, they analyze, they are using Excel sheets a lot, because they have got a diary, right? Because they are very good at seeing data through. So absolutely. So something which is helping others to kind of gain control as well as losing that control. Yeah, I kind of, but the whole idea with Virgo is always to become a craftsman. So not to have plenty of ideas, because Gemini and Virgo together, they have got so many ideas. They've got so many talents most of the time. You just have to pick the right one, idealistically speaking. Actually, Mars, which is sextile in your midheaven, so there is a territory which can give us an element of a success. Mars rules your third house, so that's actually the creative, the writing, the communication. So eventually, once I feel like you activate that Mars in your chart, this could really be helpful. The other helping factor here is Chiron, which is something to do with the wounded healer. So we can think about how I can heal other people, not necessarily by becoming a doctor or becoming a nurse, but you can do that through your writings, for instance. So you can do that through your YouTube channel if you like it. And you have a very great time at the moment to start something anyway. Oh, that's Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter energy, what is going on at the moment in Capricorn, that is all trining your personal planet. So this is a great time to start something with your life.
Really?
One of the major factors actually I see holding you back is every single planet is held by your Jupiter. And Jupiter is the expansion. So you have to kind of want to expand to start with. Jupiter is actually in charge of your family life and is in charge of your relationship life, which would mean that once you are down, or once you are maybe in a relationship, or once you have got so much to do with your family, and all these type of things are taking your attention away from what would be the most important to you. And that's something to do with your, something to do with your kind of life mission, let's call it that way. Another thing which I very much look at when I talk about life mission and vocation and so forth. What would make you happy? And moon talks about the happiness. So that moon in the sign of Virgo in the first house really talks about learning how to trust your instincts, not necessarily rationalizing your feelings. It's more about it's not rationalizing, not analyzing your feelings. It's going to be more about to learn how to act on your own desires. So having a strategy, becoming crafty about it, and then acting on that choice. So something which is first house is all about self-development. So once you feed your personal development, you start gonna be happy. So it's really about learning your own body, learning how to spend a little bit of money on yourself as well. Investing money into yourself, right? Taking care of your body, your health is basically the greatest investment for you. Sometimes pampering yourself. You can actually become something to do where massage therapy, learning, or chiropractor. So learning how the body functions. You can learn about healthy foods and then giving your knowledge over to others. You can, were you close to your grandparents, by the way?
I only had one grandmother, and I was close to her, and then she passed before I was like 12 years old.
Okay, because one of the grandparents appears here very, very strongly.
Yeah.
Learning about eating habits, because this moon in Virgo tends to be sometimes overeating or not eating enough. So having a great balancing there as well. So,
yeah, I'm a vegetarian now. I became a vegetarian in 2016. I still eat cheese. I still eat cheese though, but I don't eat meat anymore.
I don't necessarily feel that's a problem if you eat cheese. I was about to recommend something to do with becoming a vegetarian, because I don't believe that eating no meat is actually good, but if you look at my body, then you would see why. I like meat with meat. But a very, very strong Virgo rising sign needs to be picky when they eat food. So this rising sign, this stellium we call it can talk about something to do with natural products. So you can even have a garden if possible, making your own tomatoes and peppers and so forth. And then you might want to be driving that around. So Virgo is anything to do with markets. And that's where the sales also jump in. Virgo talks about herbs. So even you can become a herbalist, creating some type of natural remedies, for instance, for others. Even if you wanted to become an astrologer, that would work out as well, especially a medical astrologer, which I think is very needed because there's not many medical astrologers. Or someone like an astrologer or someone who is giving remedies to other people. That's also very, very something good for you.
Yeah, I also do essential oils. I'm with a company that does essential oils like lavender, frankincense, peppermint, stuff like that.
So maybe you're gonna be connecting with massage therapist and then try to sell your own little goods to them. Try it. If it works, then come and buy some more. So it could talk about anything to do with like let's go to the forest and then I'll show you people. I do a tour to you to be able to pick which one you can eat, which one is good for your body type of energy. And that's getting more and more popular, actually. I know that. Even if you wanted to become a veterinarian, so a vet, and actually breeding dogs or breeding chickens or whatever animal you want, and then selling the eggs or stuff like that, that could also work out. But at the same time, I would be kind of doing the transportation myself, because I kind of see you that you are good on the road type of energy.
Right.
I think that's pretty much kind of the jobs which come to my mind, really. So to make that moon happy is very much about to be helpful, to be helping the lower class people, the pensioners, something which other people, which you can be very good at. Rather than judging yourself or criticizing yourself or becoming the perfection. Those are the negative traits of Virgo. They tend to be working extremely hard and not having enough fun at the same time. Sometimes they've got unrealistic standards and unrealistic goals. So that's also something, just paying attention to, not to go overboard in those departments. The whole idea here is that you should want to be wanted, and you should need to feel needed, basically. And that's when your moon is the happiest. When it is practical, when it is helpful, when it is proactive as well at the same time. So something to do with domestic environment, that could be very, very good for you.
Like the home life?
Like working with domestic environment. So like, as I said, animals or home environment, so the agency, the property management type of things,
Right.
and so forth. So which one do you like the most? Or you like all of it?
No, there's some that I like better than others. I do have more with my author books. I do have another poetry book, which is a sequel to my original one that I wrote. So I do want to publish that, but I think I want to find an agent first before, instead of self-publishing. I think now that I self-publish, I think I should find an agent to do my second book.
Yeah, self-publishing is extremely hard.
Yeah.
I have just finished my book myself. Even to find an agent is not that easy, but but it is not something which is impossible though.
Right.
Okay, so keep trying, because I think eventually this could give you something great. You were born also during a new moon. And the new moon could really indicate that maybe you want to be writing about something to do with like some naive, childlike type of energies as well. So it could be children related. Actually, it could be even relationship related. You might even want to write your own story just with different names. Just let others, learn from it, kind of energy.
That's why I was also gearing towards that YouTube station and actually launching it and putting my audio clips to videos and putting some order to that with my Know Thyself process, because I know there's a lot of people that don't know where to start with the Know Thyself process, and they want to start with it, and they want to get to know themselves better, and they can see my journey, and I can show them how I did it.
Yeah, exactly. When I look at your karmic journeys, and that's something to do with the North Node energy, what you have to embrace this lifetime. Basically, North Node is pretty much suggesting that you're gonna have to learn something to do with publishing, So my best bet for you is learning, I mean, not learning, but focusing on being able to share your wisdom. This chart suggests to me that you came basically with a vast of wisdom, and somehow you're gonna have to share that. It is something to do with, it could be something to do with sexuality. It could be something to do with how to overcome obstacles in our lives. It could be something to do with some spiritual matters. It looks like you gained plenty of knowledge in your previous lifetimes about relationships and self-esteem. So just you are here to actually learn about yourself a lot more. Yeah, so you can even become a sex therapist if that was something you would be interested in. I already mentioned the spiritual side of things, so that clearly also is in your chart as well. So I would say that what your life mission here is gonna be something to do with the accumulated experiences what you had either at the first part of your life or in previous lifetimes, what you accumulated, like the material things, the stuff what you earned. Now it is all about investment. So it is all about embodying the highest expression of the material world, so something to do with the spiritual world, basically. So it can indicate working with people's fears, understanding people's highest potentials. Yeah, those type of things. I really feel like that's what you're gonna have to, giving the self-value back to others. So because you were meant to be learning about your own self-worth in the first part of your life. Once you have done that, then I can go and then teach people not to become so obsessive or possessive or money hungry, teaching them that it's not all about the money all the time. It's good to be having it, of course, but the true meaning of power is nothing to do what you own. So it looks to me that those are the messages which kind of need to be shared. In previous lifetimes, you might have been a banker or a farmer or a builder, or even a landowner. Now, this time around, you might need to become a landlord or working with oil or just using your own sensuality, controlling certain type of people as well. That's where I see where you should be going at. Also, this North Node, because the ruler is in the 12th house as well, so it brings in plenty of spiritual stuff. It could really talk about healing traumatic past, like healing other people's past. So it could indicate something to do with past life regressions, for instance. Yeah, and it might sound extremely foreign to you, but the North, because North Node is something which usually sounds foreign to others. This is kind of your karmic contract. This is what you think.
Can you say that again?
So it might sound foreign to you, but this is the karmic contract you kind of made, that you are going to be exploring this throughout the course of your own life. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as, can we go back to Mars? My Mars is in the 12th house. And does that make it weaker? My actions, how does that affect
Yeah, Mars is a little bit weaker in the 12th house, but not as weak as the other planets would be. So first of all, your Mars is in Leo, and Leo is a fiery energy. Mars is a fiery planet. So actually, it's not necessarily that bad. But Mars, which talks about your sexuality, how you stand up for something, your willpower, basically, it is unfortunately hidden. So it could make you shy away from certain topics in your life. But Mars always wants to fight. So in the 12th house, it indicates that I need to be fighting for the underprivileged. I need to be fighting for the weak. I need to fight with people who have got some type of obsessions. So maybe I'm fighting with drug addicts, or I'm fighting for, I don't know, maybe some type of discrimination type of things. It could indicate that you would be a very good policeman as well, for instance. Mars likes investigating. So you can become a sergeant. I mean, you can become a surgeon as well, but you can become a sergeant also. So the very good strength of this Mars is that it is very direct, it is very creative, basically. But the challenges could be that this Mars is very secretive and insecure. So it is all about basically standing up for a cause, if you like. Again, this one takes us back to the humanitarian causes. 12th house is like a charity house, really. So actually it could indicate that you might, as I said, you might be working or driving or delivering something to charities or hospitals even.
Well, I've been a recovering drug addict since 1994. I've been clean and sober. I haven't had any drugs or alcohol since 1994. November 20th is my clean date. And I've been going to 12-step programs ever since then. So I've been in...
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been in institutions basically all my life since I was 27. And this November, I'm going to be celebrating 26 years clean and sober. And I sponsor people, and I have a sponsor, and I work with other 12-step people in the groups. So I see that my 12th house is representing Narcotics Anonymous, where I belong.
So it might just indicate that you should, because that's something to do with your karmic journey. So it might be, so now we might understand better this very strong first house and something to do with the health, lifestyle, right? So I mentioned that you would be a great, like a nurse, doctor, and so forth. Maybe you want to be running your own courses on addictions. Those are the people we can learn the most, who went through themselves. So they know how it is to be, like, you know, craving for that Coke, for instance, or heroin, or whatever it is, right? So maybe also, and then it would extremely fit your communicational skills as well, very, very well. So that might be an indication that you can do some detoxing type of retreats for others, where we're just gonna be using, I don't know, natural food, and we do this and that program. I definitely can imagine that. And maybe you want to be writing a book about it. You want to do that YouTube channel on it. And eventually selling that book to others. You know, I mean, I'm even seeing on the headlines in my head, you know, that how I overcame my addictions, you know, and then selling that book to others.
Yeah, it's Narcotics Anonymous has taught me about my higher power, my God, and my spirituality. And I've been very spiritual. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, I consider myself. And my spirituality comes from what I learned in the NA program. And it's And I think if I start my YouTube station, I might be able to better express all of my ideas that I have to others. And I could also do Uber for the meantime, or I can go into property management and work for another company with property management and work there. And I've been thinking about going into Reiki maybe with healing, because I have really good hands. And
Absolutely, that's something to do with lifestyle. That's something to do with health and well-being. You know,
Yeah.
that works out. We can even think about spas, as I said, massage, chiropractor. Even you can combine massage and Reiki very well. Why not?
yeah, and essential oils too.
Exactly. So I think also that really, really suits your profile well. By the way, Gemini and Virgo rules the hand. So even creating something with your own hands, that is a very, very good idea. So this could talk about, because Virgo is very detail driven, very, detail orientated. So you can even create something with your hands, which you can eventually, let's say, sell. So this could talk about, I know, I'm gonna be doing a baby doll, or like a baby doll, yes, by my own hands, and then I'm gonna sell those, you know, or I'm gonna make I don't know, cars from wood or something, you know, whatever comes to your mind. That's also a possibility. And then eventually we can start thinking about maybe an online shop.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of artistic. I've done oil paintings before, and drawings and stuff like that. And I really like astrology a lot, and I've learned a lot about astrology. And I wouldn't mind taking a course so I could actually become an astrologer as well.
As I said, that's also a very good idea, especially something to do with herbs and medical astrology. I think that you would be very good at it.
Yeah.
Not just necessarily this predictive side. I think, as I said, especially the medical astrology, something which is working with the soul as well a little bit, something which is like a healing type of stuff. I mean, as I was talking about this North Node, which is about our karmic journey, the closest element to your North Node is actually Chiron.
Yeah.
So that's the wounded healer. So we came with wounds. We are meant to be healing from those wounds, and you know, and then once we kind of healed ourselves, or even if we didn't heal ourselves, by healing others, I'm gonna be able to heal myself as well. So that is definitely something you can take into consideration.
Yeah, I've learned a little bit about essential salts over the past few years and how they apply to your sun sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that.
For instance, I'll give you an example. I'm gonna be doing a video about how astrology and beauty correlates.
Astrology and what?
Beauty.
Oh, beauty. Okay.
Yeah. So you can think about something how astrology and the herbs correlate, or different type of body types, for instance, and what you should eat, what you should not eat, type of things. Yeah, I think these type of energies could work well for you. Great. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, I'm not too clear about my Saturn in Aries in the 8th house and what that type of energy means exactly.
Saturn rules your 5th house, which is all about the childhood. So unfortunately that Saturn, and not just because of Saturn, but basically your sun and moon conjunction in Virgo as well, it could bring some type of challenges throughout your childhood. Something to do with emotional suppression, something to do with even emotional pain or torture or something around those.
Would that have to do with like my father's passing away when I was 18?
It could also mean, well, the chart shows something to start with around age of 14. It shows something around 23 as well. Does that recall anything? 23 and
14 is when I kind of moved from. When I was 12 years old, we moved from Rogers Park, Chicago to Skokie, and I started going to school in the suburbs. And when I was 23,
and plus 16 as well. So 14, 16, and 23, which comes up here very majorly important.
Yeah, when I was 16, I saw that my father was being verbally abused by my uncle, and I didn't like it. And that's when I started using drugs. I started using drugs when I was about 17.
Okay.
And that's when I started using drugs and alcohol. And then about 23 is when I started. I had a session where I went to the hospital, and then I started Narcotics Anonymous back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I got clean for a year, and then 23 is when I relapsed again.
I found your dad's death as well. Because Mars rules your death, which is on 12 degree.
Uh-huh.
And then 18 years later, you reached your sun, which is the planet of sun. I mean, that's a timing technique called solar arc.
Oh,
so
okay.
Your planet moves 1 degree a year.
Here.
So at the age of 18 and a half, Mars reached your planet sun, which represents the dad in the chart.
Yeah, that was when my dad passed away when I was 18 and a half years old.
Yeah.
So the progressed Mars reached my sun?
Reach your sun at the age of 18 and a half, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then Mars unfortunately went through, let's just have a look. So that's 18, that's 48. Thank God it kind of left all your planets in the first house. So now it is somewhere around 5 degree of Libra. So it is more about, 5 degree of Libra. So approximately 4 years ago, it was really triggered in your relationship. Axis, overcoming some pains there. Did you not almost fall back into drug problems?
No, I got divorced in 2015.
So 5 years ago. Uh-huh.
And then after that, I moved back in with my mom this year. I was on my own, and then I moved back in with my mom because she's getting ill.
Mm-hmm.
She's 85 now.
Oh, wow. So the good news is that the Mars, thank God, kind of left your first house now. And that's a good news. Because it is now focusing a lot on your financial department. So it is kind of asking you to invest time, effort, and money into your financials, into your self-development, and into your own self-worth. So this Mars is pretty much, as I said, it's the karmic planet in your chart as well. So it is pretty much asking you to now go and then focus on, on those territories.
And on money and my values?
Money and values, yeah. Yeah, so Mars is on... Mars is not gonna hurt you, not gonna give you any headache for a very long time. Let's put it that way. Your moon is gonna be changing sign in 1.5 years' time. and it's going to be moving into Scorpio. Now, that's not necessarily, I mean, even Moon doesn't necessarily like Scorpio. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's going to be triggering your third house, which is all about the writing. So, and Moon rules your 11th house, which is the house of publicity. Now, that's about 1.5 years' time. So, you might want to be spending the next 1.5 years about with writings, and then trying to publish those books. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So, what other questions you've got? Oh, and on top of that, North Node. So no wonder why we are talking. North Node just shifted into your 10th house recently, which is all about your career. So, of course, it is pretty much talking about figuring out my karmic journey. And there's Gemini. And on top of that, you had a eclipse happening on your midheaven as well this year in July. So that you have got a major career activation going on here, and that usually brings in something in the next 18 months. So the next 18 months, I'm expecting some of your career to kind of kick off. So I think at the moment you are at the stage where you are like putting down the foundation, like when you are building a home, right? I'm going to start with the foundation and I'm going to start pulling up the walls, right? So something similar here. You seem to be, you should be laying down the foundation and then start striving somewhere around in 18 months time, which is
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
So it's all about laying down the foundation. And then 18 months harvesting. So at the moment, you seem to be at the stage where I'm figuring out who I am, what I want to do, building gradually up that business profile you want to be doing. And it looks to me that within 18 months, you can see success from that, which gradually builds up. So yeah.
So I've made a few videos already for my YouTube station, and then I put it on hold. And I want to proceed with that station that I have, and make it more concise about the Know Thyself journey. And I think I could.
Yeah.
I could make it work where I could talk about different aspects of my stellium, basically, the strengths of my stellium, to get that started.
Yeah, I think you should go ahead with it. And then it doesn't mean that we need to start it in 18 months time. Actually, you should be starting it right now as we speak.
Right.
And then we might start a gradual build up. We might see a gradual build up within the next 18 months.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I've heard that a stellium, when you have a stellium, it points to a certain aspect of what your mission is in life. And you went over everything with all the traits and career options that I can go to. Is that what a stellium does? It puts focus on one area of life.
Well, the reason why I didn't mention the other part, because you said you didn't want to know about romance, but
okay.
Stellium basically is, yes, a major focus on one area of life, which you have got on the self-development, but it usually indicates that you have to pull out from that house and then go and put some energy into the other house as well.
Oh.
And that's the 7th house, which is the house of others.
Relationships.
So, such as relationships. It's not just about personal relationships though. It is just the relationship with other people. So that's why I mentioned things like collaborations with others and so forth.
Right.
Because stellium in the first house is pretty much about to be or not to be type of energy. So a little bit of a Shakespeare here. And yes, we tend to be focusing way too much on our self-development, on our body, on our stuff. But by the way, Keanu Reeves has got a very strong first house Virgo stellium, just like you.
Okay.
And this is all about not ignoring, not just focusing on your own needs, but somehow focusing on other people's needs as well. So being able to communicate with others, pairing your skills up with intellectual depth and originality. Basically caring about others. Yes, of course, it is going to be bringing in the picture your own personal romantic relationships as well.
Okay.
Which means that, because when we have none, I mean, we've got a first house, then we tend to be ignoring the seventh house a lot. And usually with Virgo, because I got hurt. One hurt doesn't mean that, I shouldn't be standing up, basically, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Right? So, but even when I look at the signs itself, so you've got a very strong Virgo, the opposite is Pisces. So that Piscean energy is all about compassionate love. So that's where, again, this helping profession comes into the picture. Because a Virgo stellium makes someone a great worker, very efficient, productive. They want to use their power to use it for the good. But they can be suffering from anxiety. They can worry or stress a lot because they have got such a high expectations towards themselves as well as to others. So Virgo tends to get stuck in their own heads because they are overly overthink things. Mm-hmm. So this stellium in your case needs to learn how to relax. Therefore, anything to do with yoga and all this type of body, spirit, mind type of trainings is also extremely good for you.
Okay. Yeah, I meditate every day for the past years now. So I have a meditation that I do, a musical meditation and a silent meditation. I do a combination of that.
Lastly, let's just have a look at your financials when we've got great chances of the financial to pick up. So your financial planet is Venus. Venus is on 10 degree. Venus is going to be trining a sextile in your natal Jupiter in 3 years. That is actually a great combination. That could give us very great financial boosts. And on top of that, Venus then straight after gonna be sextile. The good thing is that you've got so many planets at the moment in Scorpio. Individually, they start sextiling your first house planets. So this is more or less a better period which is ahead of you. That's very good to see. Let me just go on the secondary progression as well to see what's happening there. Yeah, so Venus is coming up to your Neptune next year. So that 18-month period for publishing and so forth, I just see that it could happen. I'm pretty much seeing some career changes in your charts. And I see some type of boost. I also see that in a way, I feel a lot more energetic side to you overall.
Oh, energetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been sleeping a lot lately.
But, which is not a problem. But I see that you have got an increase in energy level at the moment, which is good to see.
That's great.
Great. I'll send over the recording for you sometimes tonight.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.
And you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.